Hello everyone, welcome to Vishesh Educational Videos. In this video, I am explaining about constraints, relational model constraints. If you are not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. To get the notification of my new videos, please click the bell icon. And please don't forget to like the video and please don't forget to share the video with your friends. So let me begin the explanation of constraints, relational model constraints. So what is a constraint? Constraint is nothing but a condition. You can put some condition on the data that is present in the database, right? So in the RDBMS, in relational DBMS, there are mainly three types of constraints. So first one is a inherit constraint, second one is a schema based constraint, and third one is a application based or semantic constraints. So inherit model constraint means they are purely related to internal architectures, that is data model, inherit data model constraints. And the constraints that are expressed in the schemas, especially in the database direct DDL, data definition languages, there you can use the constraints. These are nothing but schema based constraints. In this video, mainly we are concentrating on schema based constraints here. So the constraints that cannot be directly expressed in the schemas are called as application based constraints. So in this video we are concentrating on schema based constraints or explicit constraints. So in a schema based constraint, there are different types actually: domain constraints, key constraints, constraints on nulls, entity integrity constraints, and referential integrity constraints. These are the different types of schema based constraints. Now we will discuss each constraint in detail. So first is a domain constraint. Domain constraints specify that within each tuple the value of each attribute must be an atomic value from the domain. Don't get confused here. For example, assume that I have a table, because in a relational database the data will be present in the form of table, right? So you can see here domain constraint tells that within each tuple means a record. See here, for example, you can see here in this table we have two tables here, department table and the employment table, and each table contains three records. Each table contains three records. Each row in the table represent a record here. So what it tells, actually domain constraint is going to tell that the value of each attribute must be an atomic value. Atomic value means they are indivisible values. Values should not be divisible. For example, see here, so whatever the values that are present in this table, for example, department number 12 to 212, 213, 214, whatever the data you take in this table, these values can't be divisible. You can't divide 2012, you can't divide physics, you can't divide employee number. That is domain constraint. Whatever the values that are present in this particular domain should be atomic. Atomic means the values can't be divisible. Values can't be divisible. Getting, guys? And one more important thing, the data types associated with domains typically include, obviously whatever the data type for the particular domains include integer, character, boolean, right, date, time, timestamp, and also special data types. You can see here, whatever the value you take in this table, right, for every value we have a data type. For example, you can see there the name of the department value is having a data type character, department number is having a data type integer, right? So for every value that is going to be stored in your domain, the value is having a data type. So we discussed so many different types of data types here, right? Int, real, float, char, right? Varchar, that is fixed variable length character, date, where date data type, it's a special data type that is supported in the DBMS. Timestamp, time, right? We can use any of this data type while presenting the data. right, in the table. Next is key constraints. So what is a key constraint? By definition, I can say key constraint as all elements of a set are distinct. Hence, all the tuples in a relation must also be distinct. For example, you can see there this is a table with three columns: employee SSN, employee number, employee name. So key constraint is going to tell that whatever the values that are present in these rows, here total how many rows? 4 rows are there. 4 records are there. Whatever the values that are present in this table, all the values should be different. No value should be repeated. You can see there employee SSN, take employee SSN field, all the values are different. Take employee number field, see that all the values are different. Take employee name, again you can see that all the values are different. So key constraint is going to tell that whatever the value that is present in the record should be different. So when all the values that are present in the record are different, obviously two records are different. For example, I can tell that Steve information is different, Ajit information is different, Chaitanya information is different, Robert information is different, because each record values are different. So the key constraint is going to tell that all the elements of a table, all the elements of a set are distinct, and all when the elements are distinct, obviously tuples are also distinct. That means different. All the elements are different, hence all the tuples are different. Right? No value should be repeated here. No two tuples can have the same combination of values. No two tuples can have the same combination of values. You can observe there. Every value is different. Obviously, no value is repeated here. No. For example, here 226, employee number 226 is only present one time. 226 can't be repeated for Ajit. No, it's not a case. No combinations should be there. Right? That is the case in case of key constraint. So you can see there. So next, what is a super key? What is a super key? So very simple. I don't want to confuse you guys. Super key means what? Super key is a key used to identify the particular record, individual record in a table, and super key contains set of attributes. Super key contains set of attributes. For example, I want to find out the record. You can see there I can find out the record Steve by using the employee SSN. So understood guys? Super key means it is a set of attributes. It is a set of attributes to identify the individual records. I have to identify and one more thing, primary key is different, super key is different. Don't get confused here. Right? Primary key is different, super key is different. Super key tells that it is a set of attributes used to identify the records. For example, here how many columns are there? Employee SSN, employee number, employee name. Here I try to write the different super keys for this table. For example, first super key is employee SSN. You can see there, using the employee SSN I can identify each record here, because every employee SSN is different. Obviously I can identify each record here. Each record is different. So what is a super key? I told you it is not a single attribute. Super key can be a set of attribute to identify the record. Here employee SSN identified the record, but I used only one attribute here. But what is the super key according to the definition? Super key is a set of attributes to identify the records. So what is the another set? Employee number. Again employee number. I can use employee number also to identify the individual records, because no values is repeated. That is another super key. Next, what is the third super key? Employee SSN and employee number. I can combine both, because super key is a set of attributes that can be used to identify the records. I will combine employee SSN and employee number. Observe there, even after combining the employee SSN and employee number, no values are repeated. Both values are different. Again, that can be one super key. That is the condition in super key. So no value should be repeated. Super key is a set of attributes that is used to identify the record, and the no values are repeated, getting guys. See, in the same way, what is the another super key? Employee number, employee name. Again, that is also different. See, employee number, employee name. Next, employee SSN, employee name. Employee SSN, employee name. Again, that is same. Employee SSN, employee number, employee name. Again, I can use 3 attributes also, no problem. See, whatever the attribute you take, whatever the values that are present in these attributes are different. So total 6 super keys can be constructed here. Getting guys, super key is a set of attributes. You can see these are all attributes. Super key is a set of attributes that is used to identify the record. Using this all these 6 super keys, I can still identify individual records without any problem. No values is repeated here. You can see there. Employee SSN, employee number, again same. Again all the values are different. In the same way, again if you take employee SSN, employee number and employee name, observe there all the values are different. So this is the definition of the super key. Next, what is a key then? Key is also a super key. But with 2 attributes. What is that? 2 distinct tuples in any state of the relation cannot have identical values for all the attributes in the key. Obviously, this applies to super key also. What it tells, what is the first condition? No values in this particular table should be repeated. You can see there, all the values of the attribute should not be repeated. That is the first condition of the key. It applies to super key also. You can observe there, no value is repeated here. All the values, no single value should be repeated here. That is the first condition, right? Key is also a super key, right? But what is the condition in a key? If you remove any attribute, it is not a super key of R anymore. But what is the condition here? Key is a different, super key is different. You understood super key? Key, what is the condition for key? Key is also a super key, but you can't remove the attributes. Whatever the attributes here is there, you can't remove any of that attributes. If you remove any of that attribute, it can't be a super key, but it is a key, right? But what is the condition? Every value should not be repeated here. Again, it applies to super key also, it applies to key also. You can see there no values are repeated here. What is the second? It is a minimal super key. Why? Key is also called as minimal super key because which we cannot remove any attributes and still have the uniqueness constraint as old, right? So here we can't remove any attribute. If you remove any attribute, for example, in a super key, this is a super key, right? For example, in a super key, if I remove employee name also, I can identify individual record using employee SSN and employee number. In the same way, if I remove employee number here, I can identify the record using only simple employee SSN. That is possible. You can see, even if I don't have any of these 2 attributes, I can easily identify records just by using this employee SSN. It is possible. But in key, it is not a case. If you remove any one of the attribute, you can't identify the key. You can't identify the record in the key. That is the condition in the key. In a super key, you can remove any attribute. Even after removing any attribute also, you can identify. For example, I told you, if I remove employee name also, I can identify the record using employee number and employee SSN in super key. But in a key, what is going to tell that? If you remove any one of the attribute, you can't identify that individual record. Here you can't remove any of the attribute like employee SSN, employee number in employee name if it is a key. Super key, no problem. This is a super key example. Here I can remove any key. That is possible. I told you, right? But in key, it's not possible. Hope you understood, guys. Don't get confused. I repeat briefly. Super key means it's a set of attributes used to identify individual records. Here you can see there, these are all the set of super keys. So what you see here, all the values in this particular table are unique. If you take any super key, you can see there all the values are unique. But in a key, what is the difference between a super key and a key? Key is a minimal super key, because in a super key, even if I remove any of the attribute, I can still identify the record. Here employee name, if I remove employee name also no problem, because this is a super key, I can easily identify the records. But in a key definition, it tells that you can't remove any attributes. In a super key, you can remove attributes. In a key, you can't remove any attributes. And in a key, another condition is all the values should be different. So in a super key also the same condition applies. All the values should be different. Here you can see that whatever the values that are present here, all the values are different. Getting, guys? Next, relational database schemas. I'm not going to drag this. See here, relational database means what? It is a table. It is a database that presents the data in the form of tables. Tables are relations. I can call that as a table or a relation, one and the same, right? For every relational database, I can have a integrity constraint. IC means integrity constraint. For example, a relational database, consider company relational database. There we have a table, employee table, department location table, project table, works on table, and dependent table. When we refer to a relational database, we implicitly include both its schema and its current state. A database state that does not obey all the integrity constraint is not valid. Remember that. I don't want to confuse you guys. So if a state is going to, for example, very simple example I will tell you. For example, I will put a constraint like that. Employee name should contain 5 characters. That is integrity constraint. If you try to give 6 characters, then your database should not accept that character, because what is the integrity constraint I told there? Your name should be 5 characters long. Then if a name is in the 5 characters, I can tell that my state is in the valid state and it is satisfying integrity constraint. Suppose it is accepting 6 characters, I can't tell that it is a valid state and it is satisfying the constraint. Now my constraint is what? Name should be 5 characters long. So that's why my name should be 5 characters long. Then only I can tell that my database state is valid and it's going to satisfy the constraint, right? So here entity integrity constraint, foreign key referential integrity constraint. Entity integrity constraint means it's very simple. No primary key value can be null. This is because the primary key value is used to identify individual tuple in a relation. You can see there here in the department table, department number is the primary key. According to the primary key should not be null and primary key should be different for each record. You can see there whatever the record you take here, department number values are different and all the values are there in this table. No values of a primary key are empty. So that is the entity integrity constraint. Entity integrity constraint tells that no primary key value can be null, because if it is null, I can't identify the records. For example, here department number, if it's 212 is not there, I can't identify the record here. I can't tell that which department this name physics belongs to. See, I can't identify any record here. That's why primary key should not be null and it should be different for each record. You can observe there, for each record the value is different. Getting, guys? So what is a referential integrity constraint, right? The referential integrity constraint is specified between 2 tables and 2 relations. That is, 2 tables means 2 relations, and it is used to maintain the consistency among the tables. If you want to relate 2 tables, you can use referential integrity constraint. You can use referential integrity constraint. For example, see, whatever here, department number is the primary key in the department, but department number is the foreign key in the employee. Here I am relating department table and employee table using attribute department number. Department number is a primary key in the department, but department number is the foreign key in the employee. How I am relating these two tables, because I am relating these two tables by using the attribute department number, same attribute in two tables also. Getting, guys? Right? Hope you are understanding, guys. Right? So, and one more important thing, very important thing, if you are using a foreign key or a referential integrity constraint, tuple in one relation that refers to the another relation must refer to any existing tuple in that relation. What does it mean? Don't get confused here. See, that is very simple. See, whatever the, for example, department number is the foreign key in the employee table. So here, while filling the department number, you should fill the values that are present in the department of number of the department. For example, what are the department numbers present in the department table? 212, 213, 214. You can see there. See the department number in the employee. What are the values present in the department? 212 and 214. You can see there. 212 and 214 also present in the department table. You have to fill the same values here also in the employee table. Here 212, 213, 214 is there in the department table. You can't fill 215. You can't fill 215 here. No, because department number values are only 3, 212, 213, 214. When you are filling the values for the foreign key in the another table, you have to fill the values from the same set only. You have to fill the values from the set 212, 213, 214 only. You can observe there. These values are between the set 212, 213, 214 only. That is the condition here. Here 216 is not there, right? I can't fill 216 in the department number of the employee. If it is there in the department table only, I can fill. That is the condition if you are using a foreign key. And one more important thing, foreign key values can be repeated, but primary key values can't be repeated. See, department number, primary key of a department is not repeated. But when you use department number as a foreign key in the employee table, the values can be repeated. You can see there. So employee 1 belongs to department number 12. Employee 2 also belongs to department number 12. It's possible, right? Two different employees can belong to two different same department. Two different employees can belong to same department. That is possible. That's why foreign key can be values can be repeated, but primary key values can't be repeated. Getting, guys? So that is a referential integrity constraint, right? So this is the schema diagram of a referential integrity constraint of a same employee department location. You can see that SSN is used in the dependent also. Same values of SSN that is present in the employee should be there in the dependent also. I already explained it. Other types of constraint means semantic integrity constraint. For example, if you want to put a constraint like salary of an employee should not exceed the salary of the employee supervisor, and the maximum number of hours an employee can work on all projects per week is 56. If you want to put this type of constraints, you can use a semantic integrity constraints. Getting, guys? So hope you understood the concept. Suppose if you have any doubts, please post your doubts in the comment section. Thank you for watching the video.